Hey, this is Anney.
And Samantha.
And welcome to Stuff I Never Told You, a production of iHeartRadio.
And welcome to the return for 2025, our viewing, and I guess our reactions to Sex and the City. Yeah, we're coming back. I feel like at the very least we'll end season 3 this year in 2025. Those are my hopes.
Okay, that's a goal. All right.
But yes, we were back. When we are back in viewing Sex and the City, some, such as Anney, for the first time.
That's true. This is my first time. Also, we have chosen our winner for the listener who's going to come on and view the next episode, I believe, with us. They've already been contacted. If you did not win, please don't be discouraged because we're going to do it again.
Yes. This is going to be at least a once a season thing, if not more.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. And it's randomly, I used my Dungeons and Dragons dice. That's how I
did you?
It. Yeah. I assign numbers and I roll the dice. So it's random. Yeah. But yes, if you didn't get it this time, please feel free to try again.
But add in your name. Yeah. Do it through the social medias, whatnot. Because we do include those. Mm-hmm. So, but yes, we are back. It's season 3, episode 12 now. But before we start, because this is a happy hour, so if you're doing any of the things that we talk about in happy hour times, or do so and participate in, do so responsibly. Mm-hmm. We love you. Be good to yourself.
We do.
1, 2. Anney, are you doing something responsibly? Are you sipping on anything responsibly?
I am indeed.
What is it?
I'm still on my rosé that I mentioned last time. It is, as we record this, as it comes out, it's Galentine's Day and Valentine's Day.
Oh, happy Galentine's, y'all.
Yeah, happy Galentine's Day. So I just felt like it'd be appropriate. Yeah. I have plans on Valentine's Day.
Oh,
not romantic plans, obviously. I mean, obviously to people who know me, but
it could be romantic. Who knows?
Today they were like, I can't wait to celebrate Galentine's with you. And I was like, I hope you know that Galentine's actually is a thing that happens the day before Valentine's. Because I swear if you show up at my apartment on the wrong day, I should just clarify that. I should make sure that
clarifying is good.
Yeah.
Communication.
Yeah. But I mean, further than that,
all relationships.
It said we have the date and it says Valentine's Day. So I think they know, but I just want to make sure.
Verify.
Yeah.
Verify. It's always good to verify.
Yeah.
Well, I love that. Well, I am actually going to try one that I had bought for us. And it's the Buzzkill, which is the alcohol removed Cabernet Sauvignon. Buzzkill is a company owned by a woman, and I'm not going to lie, I don't have it pulled up. We'll probably talk a little more about it later. And it has less than 0.5%. So I'm really excited because, again, as many of you regular listeners and those who are just joining may know, I am sleepy when I drink too much. Or not even too much, when I drink at all. Period. A sip or two, whatever. So this is a nice little change. I'm going to open the can. Oh, crisp. No. Ooh,
sound effects.
Oh, it's nice.
Okay.
It's more tart than I expected, but I guess that's probably what happens if you remove the alcohol.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I have one. You bought me one as well. I'm excited to try it. So
sure, we'll have to try it together, but I just wanted one because I have a few in there and I was like, I want to do something. And now it's Valentine's weekend. A weekend of romance, which is what Sex and the City is, if nothing else. All about relationships.
Yeah,
I needed to sip on something bubbly and wine. There's nothing more romantic than wine, right?
It's pretty romantic. I would agree.
You know,
I would agree.
If a drink was romantic, maybe, I don't know. What else would be? Orange juice? Is that romantic?
No.
Okay.
No.
See, I tried.
It would clash with a bunch of other flavors. If you have any kind of sore in your mouth, it would hurt. No.
that triggered a trauma. Okay. Unexpected. But with that, now we're going to get into it. And as you know, we have a whole little system when it comes to us watching. Well, you may not know, but if you've been a regular, you know that we have a little system on how we set up these viewings. And we start with Anney telling us a quick review of what has happened thus far in this season.
Which is not an easy task because it's been a couple months since we've done this.
The gaps, yeah.
Yeah. And I try not to look anything up because I want to be authentic.
As well as I quiz you and you can't cheat.
Yeah. So I believe in the last episode, so like one of the overarching themes of this has been Carrie has found a happy relationship with Aiden. It seems healthy, but she is used to this unhealthy relationship with Big. And so she's cheating on Aiden with Mr. Big. And now all of her friends know. All of her friends have found out separately, Samantha, Miranda, and Charlotte. And they all had different reactions. And I think the last one ended with Carrie kind of fleeing the apartment of Mr. Big with his fiance, his wife, Natasha.
Yeah.
Seeing her and being like, I see you. And they chase each other down the stairs. And then Natasha falls and hurts herself. And Carrie has to take her to the hospital. And she's like, no, we can't keep doing this to Mr. Big. And then she goes back to her apartment and still doesn't really tell Aiden what's happening, but he's pretty suspicious. He's like, oh, something's amiss. I think this is correct. And then, as I always say, Samantha's doing her Samantha thing. She did have a whole kind of scare with an STI, and they had a lot of talk about that and getting tested. Charlotte's about to get married to Trey. And she's living her bride life. We were introduced to Anthony, who becomes a bigger character later, who's helping her with dresses. And then Miranda was she's recently broken up with somebody she thought she might settle. I don't want to say settle with, that's not right. But somebody she was comfortable with, like she'd found a comfortable life with. And then they broke up, Steve. And now she's kind of getting back out in the dating world. And she was talking to some guy. They were having phone sex, but then he was talking to some other lady, I guess. And so that was the end of that.
Nice. That was a good run through.
Right?
For the most part.
Yeah.
See, Aiden wasn't necessarily suspicious. He was found out she was smoking again. And that's what he thought was going wrong.
Okay.
I think. And that's kind of that bigger conversation. And then he says, I love you. I'm your person type of thing. It's okay. They'll find their way back home once they stray, was that kind of theme. Because she lost the dog for a second.
Oh, yeah, the dog. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, she had to chase after the dog. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
There's so many things.
It was
no, that might have been before, actually. That was a previous one.
Yeah, but it was part of clearly she's letting all these balls kind of drop in her life.
She does, but she does exit and she's like, we're so done. There need a new word for done.
Right.
We're so over. One of those two things. I think I may be doing worse than you are, and I've seen this 10 times.
Well, I know I'm going to be quizzed on it, so I'm the night before, I'm literally
trying to
remember Anney, what happened.
Whispering it on you on a day we're not watching it and be like, do you know?
I probably would be terrible.
I would love it. Well, we are coming on episode 12. A lot of climax. I'm telling you, this season is just a season of a lot of discovery, really big turnaround. You would think it's 4 seasons in one. But this episode is titled, Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Can you give me a prediction of what you think is going to happen?
Okay. So I feel like that's when it's like an omission of, it's when you lie, but if somebody doesn't ask you about it, it's cool, right?
Right.
Well, we both know maybe there's a lie happening here, but if we don't talk about it, it's fine. So I'm going to guess. I really don't know what's going to happen with Charlotte's wedding. I have no idea. But something there. I think Carrie, given what I know about future seasons, I think she is going to get back with Big. I don't think she's done is done or whatever she said. I think she's going to go back. I think a lot of truths will be revealed. How about that?
Shoes or truth?
Truths.
Okay, I heard shoes, and I'm like, in this show, maybe. Probably.
I mean, both.
You're not wrong.
Could be. Oh, brunch.
And this prediction has brunch. All right.
This one is brunch.
All right, so let's jump into it.
Okay.
The only thing worse than being Charlotte's 34-year-old bridesmaid was being a 34-year-old bridesmaid without a date.
Is that stereotype gone now? The needing a date for a wedding?
I've never even known that.
Oh.
I knew usually you come with somebody, but I didn't think it had to be a date.
I didn't think so either. I guess if it's your friend, though, and all your friends are going to be there, they can't be your plus one, but that would be just as fun. It'd be fine.
Yeah.
I'm a lawyer at a mid-sized firm. Actually, I was recently made partner.
Oh, no.
I'm a lawyer.
None of them are going to like it. They're like, she's too powerful for me.
I went to Harvard Law School.
No.
I'm a stewardess.
Really? Oh,
so creepy. Why would you look at her that way? Really? I still think we could try to do a speed dating for you.
But why?
But why not? Because we want to know the experience, Anney.
Wait, I can't remember. Have you done it?
No.
Okay. I feel like it would be rude to somebody because it's like an experiment. Unless I'm trying to find somebody.
I couldn't reject you. This is too much. And you're rejecting me? This is mean.
Let's eat, drink, and be married.
Oh, let's eat, drink, and be married.
I find marriages are full of the really cliche puns. So
yeah,
I get it.
That should be your wheelhouse.
It should be, but I like to go for the stranger, dorkier things, not the romantic sweet. I'll find it hanging over the sink type thing. No,
that's fair.
His name was Caleb, right?
Wow. See, I also know it's a trope to hook up at a wedding.
Yes. Usually the groomsman and a bridesmaid.
Yeah. I caught the bouquet once, and I did get hit on a lot. And I was like, this is a superstition, I believe. Right?
I've been in many weddings. That was never my case. Maybe I apparently do not have a welcome sign on me anyway, except for the ones who just love a challenge and are a little too eager. I had a wedding where I had a dress in a beige color, so it was a color that was the color of my skin.
Yeah.
I looked interesting. Thinking it was poofy. It was a poofy one.
Yeah.
With a corset poofy ball gown. Yeah, it was one of those.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I got rid of that so quickly.
I had the first time I went to a wedding as a bridesmaid, it was for my cousin, and I'm pretty sure she didn't want me in it. But anyway, it was a beige dress. And my mom, and I think rightfully, she was like, we're not buying any prom dresses. You're wearing this dress.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
I think I did that too. No, I didn't.
I was like, okay. It was a nice dress. It was not what I would have chose, but it was a nice dress.
That night, Harris got to make love to a stewardess, and Miranda didn't have to fake anything.
Wow, that's an interesting conversation.
Wow.
Basically, she had to downplay what she's done.
Right.
Even though there's nothing wrong with being a stewardess.
There isn't. Either one of those things. It is very insulting in both of those things. In fact, they make a lot of good money.
Yeah.
She has her degree in there. Like, she has a whole office.
Who's gonna know I went to Harvard.
And she kept the scarf on. That's funny.
Yeah, I know
That's
it is.
funny. It matches her bra. Come on.
It does. It does.
The end of dating. All right, then.
It's also the end of the possibility that your next great is just around the corner.
Well, my next grade. Yes! Is just around the corner.
Putting a sad moment here, she actually just did an interview about her sex scenes and how she really wished that there had been sex intimacy touches.
Yeah.
And how uncomfortable she was and how she hid after the scene.
Yeah.
She was so upset.
That makes sense.
But, sweetie, you're not a virgin.
Well, I am in this relationship, and I think it's romantic.
See, I have a friend who used to tell me that all the time, and I wonder if she didn't know, but she got it from this. You take him for a test drive before.
I feel like that's just a saying.
It could be, but she was very conservative. But that was her like liberal thought, was you should take them for.
I mean, sexual compatibility can make or break a marriage and relationship.
It could.
So.
Well, now I don't think it's going to work out well, just because I know this show.
That's your new prediction?
Yeah, I think it's not going to go well. I don't know how or why.
Sometimes intercourse just doesn't do it for me.
Sometimes it just doesn't do it for me.
Oh.
I can get the sails up, just can't bring it into the harbor.
All right. That's a euphemism I haven't heard before.
Is there anything I can do?
When it comes to Trey, there's a lot of nautical euphemisms that you're going to find out about.
Okay.
Not to spoil it for you, but
get
excited.
So he's not leaving the picture. I at this point, I don't know.
Get your sails up with excitement, because it's coming.
Samantha, stop flirting with me.
All I could think about was the fact that I was a cheater. I cheated and lied in 5th grade, and I was still doing it.
Look at the size difference. He looks like a giant.
He does. I think about that when you have like really petite women paired with really like large men like that. They do this on purpose to make women be like, this is how small we should be to a man. By the way, the stoop apparently has a sign on it now because so many people wanted to take pictures in front of it. And so the owners of the brownstone, like, I think they're going to actually renovate it so it doesn't look the same because they're so tired of people coming to take pictures.
Yeah. I think that's fair. It's unfortunate because it's a lovely exterior, but yeah, that would get rough. Mm-hmm.
To be fair, like, people would have to really, and I know there's tours and such, so maybe that's how people find out.
Yeah.
But like, you would have to research if you were doing it on your own because there's so many buildings that look similar to that I've been like, is that it? That looks like it. This could be it.
That'd be really funny if somebody set up a fake out. Charge some bucks. Eventually you'd go to jail, but it might be worth it for a while.
Would you? Like, is there...
I think if you were frauding, that'd be fraud, I think.
Would it?
I don't know. I mean, there's your fake Elmos in Times Square. I don't know.
Off-brand. Just do one thing that's a little off.
But I think if you lied and was like, this is the place.
Right.
I think you could get in trouble. If you were just like, yeah, this is it.
Aiden, I slept with my ex-boyfriend. You met him at the furniture show, and then we slept together, and I didn't tell you, and I'm sorry.
Weird way to announce that. And she does it in such a way that makes it sound like she's angry at him.
You slept with that guy? When we were going out? Once?
Oh, more than once. And he was married and it was a mess. And I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking, but it is so over. And it was wrong. And I just hope you can...
Here, I think I want to be alone.
What a time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess, like, yeah, she should tell him, but what a time to tell him.
It's also a selfish time, too, like, for her to do this. Like,
right.
She is the worst in this season. Like, this is where I think everybody started turning on her and being like, you're actually the villain in this story. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was like I was in the first wedding at like 7 when I came into the US. And then I proceeded to be in more weddings at 12, 14, 16. So many. I think at one point I was like in 12 weddings.
Oh.
I never wanted one. There's been nothing about that has ever interested me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to really pretend like I had a moment. There's nothing. Like walking down the aisle for people to stare at me with me probably falling out.
I've seen that happen before with a bridesmaid. She passed out, like, on the ground.
Oh, see, I wouldn't pass out. I think I'd just trip on something and that'd be the end.
No, she passed out.
Ooh.
It was hot. Our shoes were really uncomfortable.
Trey can't get it up.
Ooh.
What?
Ooh.
We slept together last night and he couldn't get it up. Was he drunk? No, I was drunk. He was fine. Well, then it must have just been wedding night jitters. He says it happens sometimes. Since she was already in the big white dress, I reached for a little white lie.
What a time to have, like, doubt.
It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
I just should have slept with him the first date.
I mean, but it's true. It does happen to everybody.
It does
That's
happen
not
to
a
everybody.
lie.
It does.
That's such a weird, like, pressures. Like, for women, too. Like, sometimes they just don't get into it.
I do love him, and he loves you.
You can work on that stuff later. And you have plenty of time. Like, sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes it does.
Right.
It'll be alright. If it's someone who cares about you.
Right.
Yeah.
But if it's that big of a concern, then yeah, run away, girl. Don't get married just because. If you're truly concerned, I mean, like, make the decisions you need to. If it's worth working it out, then it's worth working it out.
No.
When you were watching this the first time, did you have any, like, did you think Charlotte might run away? Was there any second in your mind where you were like,
go,
she might be a runaway bride?
I don't know if I ever, like, pre-think, unless it's a mystery. A mystery that you have to unsolve, or, like, there's a guessing game in the end. Like, you know, like,
yeah, you're just going
surprise.
with the ride.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This makes sense. This is how it goes. What's happening? I was thinking how horrifying to be like the dude in the front waiting and waiting and waiting. And also the reality
so stressful.
And then also like reality of like, you see the bridesmaid coming and she gets pulled back. I'd be like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Are they okay? And then all the fact that you can also see them.
Yeah.
Very clearly talking.
Yeah.
I have all of those thoughts. And then this random dude who plays the father that we've never met and we'll never meet again.
Never see him again.
No. I'm like, well, I guess that's the dad. I think about that too a lot when like they're supposed to be the parents that you've already met in a sitcom or a show.
Yeah.
And then you never see them again. Even when they do get married, be like, why wouldn't you see them?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they be at this wedding if it's
and
so
then they're
important?
Like recast later as someone else and you're like, was that the same? No.
Like New Girl has this point where she's getting married and then decides not to, and Taylor Swift pops up in this episode. Yeah. But like her mom's the one that's pressuring her to get married, but you never see her mom. And then like seasons down the road, she gets married to one of the main characters and they had never met her. I'm like, how? Confusion.
I just wish I didn't know about this.
I just wanted to be honest with you. When people make mistakes.
Baby, that was not a mistake.
It was a lot of mistakes.
It was a choice that you made for months.
Yeah.
That's not how that works. That's not just a mistake.
I just know myself. This is the kind of thing I can get over.
That makes me angry, actually, and she doesn't deserve him.
I just need to be on my own for a while.
I say as if I do. I have no dog in this fight.
You do, as a viewer?
As a viewer, that's correct.
A shipper?
Sure.
A non-shipper? Wow. The wedding episode.
I told you this gets intense.
It was. It was intense. I mean...
So there was no brunch. I'm sorry to take that one away from me every time.
I feel like a wedding is a brunch situation.
You would think they would go... But she's pretty busy, so a bachelorette party would probably make the sense.
I guess.
That's what that was. I'm sorry to you. Sorry to you for the bad guess.
How dare you?
I can't remember what your other guess was. I don't know why. It just went out of my head.
I basically said, like, a truth would be revealed.
That's right. I'm sorry. I got caught off by thinking that you said shoes.
Yeah.
Yes. Truth. So there you go. That is correct.
Okay.
And brunch.
And I got that one wrong. Yeah. Missed it.
So 50-50. 75-25. We'll give you that.
I love your random grading rubric. I never know.
It makes it better.
It does.
No one knows the scale.
No one but you, you mad scientist.
Anyway, so this was one of those episodes where I'm like, this season hits hard. You would think that was the finale about like what's gonna happen next, how like all this, but it's not. We're only halfway through, a little more than halfway through. A little more. There's several more episodes to come, including the one with, listener guest. Can't wait for that one. It's an interesting one. I try to pick a more lighthearted one to do that with, but yes, this one is like the feels. Aiden's got hurt. He was making a beautiful gift. Miranda played her games, and she still lost in that game somehow with a giant cut that kept bleeding, apparently, on things. And then we've got Sam. She was triumphant. Got her Scottishman.
That's true.
Girl, you do you.
That's true.
Charlotte did get married, but we'll see what happens with this marriage.
No. Okay. ...
There's a lot here. I kind of like, I wonder the estimated cost to that wedding.
Oh, it had to be really expensive.
The church, the amount of people.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about the
dresses,
in-show cost, and not the like how to film it cost.
Yeah, no. As in, like, if it was an actual wedding.
Yeah,
I wonder how much that would be.
Charlotte did the prenup. In the
she's
previous,
worth $1 million.
Yeah, so
if she has a baby.
Oh gosh, that's so strange to me.
And I think it has to be a son. You get lesser for a daughter.
Oh my!
If I remember correctly. I might be mixing that up with all the K-dramas I'm watching.
We need to do an episode on prenups. We talked about it in that episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they have a lot of money. I'm sure it was a very expensive wedding.
Right. Well, I think about that a lot because people it's only going up, obviously. Cost of flowers is a huge amount. A photographer is a huge amount. A videographer is a huge amount.
Yeah.
And then those dresses, and they're all designer, tailor-made for each one of the bridesmaids. All the kilts, I'm sure, were also tailor-made because it was actually, they have like their own style. Like they have to wear a specific pattern for their family, like crest.
Yeah. All
those things. It costs a lot of money to come together, and just planning a wedding today, I could not imagine. I remember just having, so my sister, when she first got married way back when, how old was I? Like in the 90s, y'all.
Yeah.
Anyway, her budget was around $7,000. And that included a free church because you didn't have to pay for the church, our church that we were at. That included a friend of her or a friend of the family making the dresses. And I think that they just bought material, and it was itchy material. Very floral. Peach and mint were the colors. Peach and mint.
Oh, wow. Okay. This does feel like a very Southern wedding.
Yeah. So no alcohol, but they did have like foods. But the food is like, this is how I grew up, was all like buffet level. Someone else made all those things and we all brought food together. My mom made a bunch of like, she makes these really good like wedding mints. I loved those. Melt in your mouth wedding mint. So it's almost like a mousse type, I guess. It's almost like a meringue, except not foamy and a little more sturdier.
Okay.
So I'm sure something specific. I don't remember. But anyway, that's the wedding that I knew. So there was a lot covered. That $7,000 went for flowers. It went for photos, and it went for her dress and his tuxedo. So clothing. I think that's it. And a little bit for the food, like paid for the food to be made, but it wasn't catered. And I want to say the wedding cake was made by a friend as well.
Yeah.
So even with that, it still cost $7,000. And I know that's a very cheap wedding, and everybody's like, huh, what? Because now people spend around, I think I saw they needed to save about $20,000 to $30,000. That would be like open bar, flowers, all these things.
Yeah.
And then if you upgraded with more, with the decorations, the location, all of that, like that's the cost. So I can't imagine.
Oh, God.
That makes me nauseous.
In New York as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like most of the weddings I've been to recently with people who are relatively where I am monetarily, give or take, it's sort of a local restaurant that's not fancy. They bought food from there. Bring your own alcohol to stock the bar.
Yeah.
And then the decorations are usually DIY. A friend, maybe, or friends did it. And I'm sure it was still expensive. But I have seen a lot of people take these, like, cost-cutting measures. And they were all lovely. Like, all of them, no notes. Had a great time. But I can only imagine. Listeners, please write in what the situation is like now.
Tell us your experience, because I find that fascinating. Again, as a person who has like no interest in getting married anytime soon, but also like if I did, it would not be like I've always said we would like do an elopement or like a small just me and him, and that'd be it, and then have a giant party. But even then, like I've had nightmares about like how to do it, because my family is so straight-laced and very like against alcohol. Very religious, like we have to have these things, and in the sermon almost have an altar call, as in like people to come pray to be saved in the middle of their weddings. Like they don't always, but it feels like it. You have to have a sermon where it's interesting. They have to preach a sermon oftentimes. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's been a long time and that's exaggerated in my head since I've been to a wedding like that. But like they go to that route versus like I believe like if it was my current partner, his family, not that they would expect anything, but they're more low kilter. They just want to be there with the family and celebrate. They do that with like drinking and dancing, and like I don't know if they would dance, but they would enjoy your typical wedding stuff. So I think it would be an interesting mix in trying to put that together and not trying to leave anybody out.
Yeah.
But also, like, that would make me stressed out to have, to think about that on a constant basis. Not the family portion of, but like my specific family's like more so than anything else. And them feeling welcome and feeling like they're a part of it in the way I would want it, which would be, which all I would typically want would be to go do an elopement, and then have my family together, or have my friends and family and people come together where I'm not cleaning, I'm not cooking, and we're just all hanging around. And someone else has done that, and we can all leave and no one cleans. Like whoever I've paid for has done it for me.
Yeah. I feel like we have a friend. I don't want to say her name in case I'm wrong, but she basically just did like separate. This family is this way and this family is this way, and sort of separated it out like that. But she got the marriage done first. And then that was more of a hanging out party situation. I'll also say we didn't really talk about this, but a lot of bridesmaids, like there is a cost to being a bridesmaid in terms of the dress and in terms of if there is a bridal shower or whatever, like however you do it.
I would like that to be noted that out of all the damn weddings that I have been in, starting in high school and college for my friends, you owe me money, damn it.
It's expensive.
Or a present of some sorts.
It's expensive. I will say most of the ones I've ever gone to have been really low key. And usually outside of the one I mentioned with my cousin, the dress is like they give you a color scheme or something. And you can go buy whatever dress you want. And it's instead of what hers was, which is this very expensive specific dress at Dillard's, I think it was.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and we're not even talking about like when you come together to throw a showers together and you have clashing. Like I remember we did one with a friend who was barely a friend, but she just wanted to be a part of the celebration, which I find that odd. Like they centered themselves so they could be the one that threw the thing. And I was like, why? You barely know each other. This is weird. You're not even a bridesmaid. Why are you here? Like, and then they turned into a bridesmaid because they were doing so much. So that might have been the end goal. Mm-hmm. But like they were like, oh, I want to do all these things, and that were great. I, as a college student, was like, I can't afford that. And so she literally was like, oh, these are the things we're going to do, and sent out a bill to the rest of us. And we were like, no, we can't afford that. We did not say yes to any of these things. And because she had money from family and she didn't have to have a job and she got all these things, and we are like working 2 jobs to stay in college. Baby, no. So that was a weird dynamic. That was like, oh, hell no. Mm-mm. And we never talked to her again. But she took over, and that's what she wanted, and wanted to be classy. And I was like, what? But yeah, the weddings bring out the weirdest things and test the weirdest things, I think.
They do. And that's why there are so many tropes, so much fertile ground to mine with them, because they really do. Between all types of different groups. I think I also would be interested if listeners would write in. I'm pretty sure the last 4 weddings I've been to have been officiated by a friend. So I'm just curious if that's like a trend or just my friend group. I don't know.
No, I think so too. Like the people who are not necessarily, or family, like someone that their brother or someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, this was a heavy episode.
Yeah.
Lots to it, but we're coming on the second. We're going to come back with the what happens now for Carrie. Yes. What do you think will happen, Anney?
What do I think will happen? Okay. So we got Charlotte's married, honeymoon time, traveling, getting away from Aiden. I don't know. I think that they all are, except for Charlotte, I guess, and Samantha, who never cares. But Miranda and Carrie need to recalibrate.
Recalibrate. Yes. Yeah. Recalibrate. That's a great way to phrase. Well, we will find out soon, and with our listener guests. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Well, listeners, look out for that one. As we said, if you didn't get it this time, we'll do it again. Plenty of episodes await.
A lot.
But if you have any thoughts about this, if you remember how you were feeling watching this episode, if you're a new viewer and you have some thoughts, please let us know. You can email us at hello@stuffmomnevertoldyou.com. You can find us on Blue Sky at Mom Stuff Podcast, or on Instagram and TikTok at Stuff Mom Never Told You. We're also on YouTube. We have a TeePublic store, and we have a book you can get wherever you get your books. Thanks as always to our super producer Christina, our executive producer Maya, and our contributor Joey.
Thank you.
And thanks to you for listening. Stuff Mom Never Told You is a production by iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, you can check out the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.